Hello and welcome to a casual Paladins game that I played. I believe I was doing one of my daily quests to complete this um, for the gold that you acquire when you're playing. And I did practice with AI, which is essentially the Coop versus AI kind of, kind of like it's more like a tutorial that's preparing you for like co-op, comp, which is competition or competitive. I don't really play competitive because I'm not really much of a PvP person. I'm not very competitive, and I just play for fun. I want to have a good time, and I do like cooperating with people. So I usually only just play the co-op quest missions just to play. And I joined this game so that I could complete a mission. I picked a damage dealer because that was what the quest required me to do. And I ended up being in a match with 3 bots in my team and 2 players, me being one of them. And the enemy team is a AI, obviously. However, you'll notice that they have a very interesting team composition, which is they have 2 tanks, their healer, they have a rather broken flank, which is Moji, I think. Like, she's broken as hell. She can heal, she can become invulnerable, she can deal mass amounts of damage in like an enormous area. So a pretty crazy AI composition, which can sometimes actually lead you to fail the match if you're not with a good group. Obviously, if you're with a group with a good group of players who know that they're playing, it's not really a big deal. Matches go by like it's no big deal. But in some cases, if you're like with the AI, which are with a group of AI that are not really that good composition, like our team composition, we only have 1 tank, we have 1 healer, not a really good one, not like any good tier healer. It's like a very basic one, and yeah, we're kind of like it's a little bit of a struggle. And essentially, the enemy AI is like somewhat like overpowering us, and things are like a little bit grim. Like we go in a bit of a back and forth. Them having 2 tanks make it difficult to like hold the line. Me being a new player definitely doesn't help. I don't know. I don't use any tricks or like what do you call them? Like advantages or anything like that. I'm like just casually playing for the fun of it. Still trying my best to help my team. Currently I'm using Vivian, who has an ability that allows her to like reveal enemies, and I was trying to do my best to do that, to like reveal enemies so that my team knew what they were doing. Obviously, if I was playing with players, then that would actually be very helpful. But obviously, if with the AI, like that doesn't help much. I only had 1 player join me, and I think he was kind of new, like me. And yeah, this match was a bit of a kerfuffle because our team composition just didn't really work out, and it was essentially kind of like I didn't want to quit. Like, I wanted to keep on it. We either lose or we win. Like that's how it is, and I think the practice against the AI is essentially meant like sometimes I think it's kind of impossible to win. Like the AI, like aside from their aimbot, which is ridiculous to some characters or champions who deal massive amounts of damage, sometimes they bunch up together. Their team composition is so really good that it's almost impossible to defeat them. Like you deal damage to one character, they get healed. You switch to another character, to the healer, then like you just get killed by the damage dealer, who's like just for some reason always constantly being healed. So, and obviously if your team healer is not really that good, then like that can definitely cost you the match. And I think that's the purpose of what training is for. Like practicing with AI is for, like to like prepare you for what competitive is going to be like. Obviously it's going to be like that, but more with like strategies and all that kind of stuff. Honestly, if you're not playing with like a full squad, with voice chat, like there's no real point in it, because like obviously those people who are going to be doing that are going to have the biggest advantage, as they'll be able to coordinate and pick like characters that they're mostly a custom buff and help each other. And that's fine. And obviously for me, I'm just playing for fun. I don't know why. I played this game before when it first came out. It was okay. It was like it was alright. I didn't really like. It was essentially a free-to-play version of Overwatch, right? It was fine. It was okay. Obviously, it's not exactly that good looking as Overwatch, and it's not as fluid, but it definitely offers more options, and it's obviously the fact that it's free gives it an advantage over that. I don't have a preference, honestly, because I don't own Overwatch, so I've never really played it, but it's kind of the same as Paladins, so it's like I'm not missing out on anything aside from like cool looking characters or better like graphics and stuff like that, maybe. Probably a lot less toxicity. People who play Paladins are a lot more chill, I've noticed. Like, there's not as much toxicity. Like, if you lose the match, even if it is against bots, it's cool. Like, okay, cool. GG, you know? So yeah, in Paladins, everyone's just, you're just expecting to have a good time. Especially when you're fighting against, AI, it's just fair play. And in this match, the reason why I wanted to record it or save the game and, like, upload it is because obviously our team composition wasn't really good, and the enemy had a far better team composition with like 2 tanks, a healer who definitely healed them and buffed them, and a really powerful flank. I can say that I assisted in helping us win the game by essentially picking off enemies and especially like specifically focusing on the healers, then clearing up the flank that was just insanely powerful, and then just mowing down the tanks whenever I saw them. I was constantly like just trying to use my abilities to reveal the enemy, so that my team always knows where they are or where they're coming from. But obviously, with 3 members of my team being AIs, it's kind of like a little bit challenging or a little bit difficult for them to like take advantage. I don't know how the AI works. Like, are they sometimes good and sometimes not? Are they like, I don't know what makes them special. Like, there's no real way to like communicate with the AI and everything. And I would love to communicate, but my D-pad is kind of scuffed, so I can't really use the D-pad that much. So I'm kind of I can only like just shoot and hope for the best. I can like fulfill my role as much as I possibly can, and that's pretty much it. But yeah, in this match it was like, I think if I had not been like focusing on defeating like key enemies and like being somewhat a little bit tactical, if I not exactly tactical, like trying to essentially thin out the enemy so that my team can like somewhat hold the line. I essentially was using everyone somewhat as bait so that I could pick off enemies and weaken them so that they can like kill them if possible, essentially trying to avoid being in the spotlight and just picking off enemies. And that actually worked, and I'm actually happy because we actually did win that. And it feels good because it feels like I somewhat contributed to the fight, even though I was just a damage dealer, doing what I was meant to be doing. And it's actually very important for those people who actually pick the damage dealers. Like, don't think it's any less important than the tanks or the healers. Like, you have to actually thin out the enemy. You have to bleed them out and kill and defeat them. Otherwise, they'll just sit there. Because obviously the tank and the healer are not really that powerful. So yeah, in this match, I pulled off my job and we won, and that made me really happy. So that's pretty much this for this video. Thanks for watching. Stay cool. See you later.